I will be very honest with you. I started to read this book because it came out a new series on Netflix about the Leopard of Tomasi di Lampedusa from an Italian production, and I was so in love with the new actress or one of the main characters that I say, okay, I want to do the thing step by step. So first, I will read the book, and second, I will watch the series. So I read it, and actually, I think it's a very interesting novel, and I want to talk to you about that. So welcome in the slot where we share the love for literature, art, and history. And today, as I said, we're gonna talk about the book of Tomasi di Lampedusa, The Leopard. Now, this is a very interesting book. It's not a novel in the common way, okay? The story is not the main character of this book. And this is one of the things that I dislike more, because it's very interesting. I read all the history behind the novel, so how this guy came up with the idea of writing this, and all the very troubled journey to do it, because this guy, we have to remember, the writer died before the book got published, and in one of his last letters to his friends, to his family, he was sending this novel and say, please publish that, this is my last memory. And actually at the end they refused it to publish at the beginning, but at the end it got to be one of the most famous Italian book of that period. Now, what is about, as I say, is not a story. It's about this prince that is in the time of the building of the Italian Republic. Okay, in Italy we got the Republic from the monarchy very, very late. And I mean, around the 18th century and the 19th century. And this guy was a prince, was a nobleman, and was used to get everything just because he was a prince. Not only money and richness, but even attention. People had a very good esteem of him because he was the prince. But now things are getting different. People are starting to think more democratically. Okay, as a republic, and the noblemen are losing importance. Of course, that was not that direct, because then, I mean, in Italy we decided to not get the monarchy even later, and there were many people, especially in the south part of Italy, and this guy was from Sicily, that they didn't want the republic, they want the monarchy, okay? But at the same time, they were considering all the option. It's not that bad, the idea that you can lead with yourself a country, and not to just leave a nobleman do all the job with all the discretion they need, and so on. So this guy, that it's a nobleman in his castle, in his villas, and everything, he started to, okay, what's happening here? At the beginning, he's a little scared, but when he talked with one of his nephew, I don't remember. I mean, this guy that was the son of her sister, he tried to calm him down, like, don't worry, uncle, this is not a big deal, okay? It will too. And this is a very important quote of the novel. If you want things to remain in this way, you have to change them. Okay, so what this guy was saying to the prince was exactly that. Like, we have to change things if we want, that to remain like that. That's why we're doing this. But don't worry about. So the prince got a little calmer. Like, okay, it's not a big deal. And that's why he was telling all the people around him, yeah, you should vote for the new republic. Okay, you should do it. And then he felt a little bad when he saw that all the people that were like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I will follow your suggestion, but I'm still very attached to the monarchy. All these people at the end voted for the republic, not for the monarchy. So it was like, why? I mean, not even one. After everything I gave to them, everything, after all the efforts I made to them, because I mean, it was a prince, so it was, he thought that being in a studio learning astronomy was, good for the society, and yes, and he said, I mean, no one believes anymore in the monarchy. and the things start to get a little dramatic, like, okay, what's happening here? And then at some point, his son, that is the son of her sister, he fell in love with a girl, a very beautiful girl that was the daughter of the mayor of the city. That he was a little rough man. He was not a prince, so he didn't have the good manners, but he was a very smart man because he was an entrepreneur, a businessman of that time. And he started to feel this confrontation. He was a prince, but many things of the business or of the world, he was not actually understanding. He didn't have that smart mind. At the same time, there was this guy that was very, very rough. I mean, it was like a farmer for that. I mean, it was an insult in a prince villa. And was like a farmer, but at the same time was very smart. He could solve many problems. He could think proactively, like, okay, the price of that is going down, so I have to buy more there, I have to buy more there. And at the end, they combined the marriage, so between the daughter of the mayor and the niece, the son of the sister of the prince, and so their way got in the same direction, and so the confrontation is always very, very strong. And the story goes like that, with this prince that see the monarchy of the nobleman just going down very, very slowly, while they are emerging these new people, the businessmen, the republic, effect. And there are many interesting episodes. There is at some point this guy that was the general that defeated Garibaldi, and in the Battle of Aspromonte, and it is so funny because it talk about the war. How was this people that want the independency compared to the soldiers of the Republic? And it's a very interesting book. I would suggest you to read it, but it's as well a very complicated reading because it's not that rhythmic. Like the modern novels is very, very, as you can see, there are very, very long period. There's like a never ending. You cannot lose your focus, and like even the conversation, they don't put like, okay, he's talking this, then he's talking this. No, it's all together. So you have to be very, very focused on the reading, but at the end it's very interesting because you see. And the last scene that is very, very important, the last chapter, at some point the prince, okay, spoiler alert, stop this video if you don't want spoiler, but at the end the prince died. That it's bad, but it's a way to say, okay, the monarchy finally ended. But it's not the last chapter, because the last chapter is his legacy. We can say his daughters, that now they are old girls, because it's far further in the story, in the time. And there are these daughters that see the church arriving at their place, because they have to check the things of the chapel, if it's conform to the religious rules, and because they have a little church in their villa, and some priests come to see, okay, if everything okay, or we have to change things. And at some point they have all these jewels and stuff, and they say, okay, what we do with that? And the priest was like, you can trash them, I don't care, they are nothing important. It's a way to say that all the things that they got very attached to as a nobleman, all the furniture, the jewels, actually they didn't mean anything anymore. People didn't care that much about that, but they wanted, the freedom, the right to vote, and the right to make the difference in their countries. And at the end, what they have to trash to is basically the dead dog that was dead since a long time, but they embalmed. I think this is the word. And the dog was representing for all the book was representing the monarchy that at the beginning was trying to make people proud because he was filled insecurity. And at the end he became just an embodied animal that people were looking at that like, oh, that old time when that dog was still active, strong and young, but it's not like that, because now it's just a dead animal. And yeah, very interesting. I would suggest you this reading. You will not get disappointed. And then watch the series that I still have to start, but I'm looking forward to see that actress at work. So thank you for following me, and let's see very soon.